What's up, YouTube? This is me on my way home. Just picked up my bike from servicing. This is one of the things that I would like to really talk about is maintenance of the bike and knowing your bike very well. Well, prior to servicing, I knew there were certain things wrong with my bike, right? So a lot of it is about experience and a lot of it is about intuition, right? So why do I say that? Well, one of the things I notice is that you may not notice this on a dry day, but on a wet day, if your tires are not up to spec or it's bald, you're going to notice things like slip-aways, you know, and when you take corners on some metal surfaces, you slip, right? It's not a dyno thing, it's really about your tires, really. And sure enough, when I sent it over to Harley Davidson for my 24,000 servicing, the guy said, you know, your tires are basically almost bald. It's best that you change it. Yeah, so fine. I mean, at the end of the day, it's something that needs to be done, right? It's about safety and it's about everything else. Besides your regular servicing, right? My firm belief about maintenance is this: you take care of your bike takes care of you. It's that simple, because ultimately, you know, you're on the road all the time, and like me, I don't just travel up north. I also, you know, take this as my daily transport, right, to work every day. So, you know, every day I'm doing like 50 kilometers a day, up and down, to and fro work. I've had this bike for 9 months, and I've clocked about 24,000 on it. It's quite alright, you know, for a small country that we're in, plus the fact that we're not as... The only other place we could go to is Malaysia and Thailand, and it's not as big and far as the United States. So talking about intuition and listening to your bike, let's talk about listening to your bike. So the other thing that I realized, or I knew there was something wrong, is because every time I shifted my handlebars, you know, from a park position to going, I could hear some cracking noises. And not only that, I also realized that it just didn't feel right. When I was riding on the road, it started to pull more right, which I thought, okay, it's not strange because it's supposed to be a well-balanced bike. Even though from time to time I would do this, just take my hands off the handlebar and see if it's straight or not, right? But you know, it still tracked well. But so again, I don't know if it was intuition, it was something in my head, or you know, things were messing with my mind or something. But true enough, the steering bearings was completely worn out. Again, you know, I'm not a casual rider, so wear and tear after 24,000 kilometers is again normal, right? And same, you know, again, knowing how your bike should perform and how it actually performs makes a big difference, right? So it's a good thing that I told them to check it. They would anyway, you know, as part of the servicing, they'll do it for a ride and everything else. And I think the sounds that were coming off the forks and the steering and the handlebars and so forth was quite obvious. So, you know, they would have probably done something, but it's a good. I still told them, you know, they just check, and true enough, they had to change the bearings on the steering head. And then finally, of course, the bearings on my rear wheels was also worn out. But I couldn't really tell from that, you know. But again, I would definitely have them check, and I think it's probably one of the things they would probably check anyway on a 24,000, because ultimately it would mean that you probably have to change the tire and blah blah blah. And again, I'm grateful for all these things happening, and I know I have to pay a lot of money, but it was something that needs to be done. I had peace of mind, safety, and so forth, right? And I think that's important. Always send your bike when it's due, and even if it's not due, you think you just need a regular oil change for whatever reason, and especially if you're going on a long distance, you know, do what Harley Davidson says to do. It's all points check or 11 points check, or I don't know how many points check it's called, but they'll do it, right, to make sure that whatever that needs to be tightened gets tightened, whatever that needs to be sorted out gets sorted out, because the last thing you need to do is have something fall off while you ride, or find that things needs to be sorted out before a long ride, and you just don't want to be stuck in the middle of nowhere. Yeah, sure, nowadays cell reception and everything else, you can call for a tow anywhere. I mean, even our insurance offers that. You can tow anywhere from Singapore, Malaysia, or Thailand, but you just don't want to be stuck in the middle of your trip. And if you're alone, maybe it's fine, maybe it's not, right? You don't want to be stuck there for alone. And if you're with guys, you know, you suddenly inconvenience the entire trip and all the guys that are riding, which is not really a good thing, right? I feel for them. They always say, no, bro, it's okay. You know, we're friends. We'll take care of each other and all. I appreciate it, because that's the other reason why I ride a Harley and why we all of us are all good friends. You know, it's because of this, right? We take care of each other. But you know, you still have to have a heart for them. You know, they wanted to go on a trip. Hopefully it was trouble-free, and you're the one that's causing the trouble. That's really, really bad. So take care of your bike. It'll take care of you, right? Man, I hate this part of the road. I have no reason why it's always crowded and the traffic is really slow for no reason at all, and nobody can seem to figure out why. Anyway, that's my 2 cents worth, you know, about maintenance and knowing your bike and everything else. I mean, if this is the first bike that you've ever had, a big one, a big CC or a Harley or any bike for that matter, you know, do what they call the due diligence. If it's time for you to service. Go to your dealer. Don't go to some guy in a corner. Don't go across the border because you want to save money, because if the guy screws you, you're left with no options, right? If the dealerships did something that caused a problem for your bike, they are obligated to fix it, right? At no cost. We don't expect it to be. They're professional, right? So whether it's a Ducati or what have you, you know, or a BMW and all that, go to your dealer, get it done. You know, it's a little bit of money extra, but you know, don't be cheap about it. Don't be cheap about your protective wear. Let's not talk about contraceptives. Let's talk about protection for yourself. Don't be cheap about that. Don't be cheap about your maintenance. Don't be cheap about your tires. Don't be cheap about your brakes. If you want to be cheap about the accessories, fine. You know, if it's not about performance and it's not about you know, riding the bike and it's just cosmetic, be cheap. It's okay. You know, don't be cheap about the maintenance and the safety of your person and the bike, you know. So if you're a newbie, first bike, go to an authorized dealer. Don't be cheap about things, you know. And if you think there's something wrong, you know, they're not going to charge you $100 just to check it, right? Have a once over, have a trained mechanic, just ride your bike, you know. Buy him a coffee, for goodness sake, right? He'll probably come back and tell you, you know, this is the problem and all, and then it saves your life, right? That's the point of it all. Sorry, I had to do that because I had the Mercedes up my ass. Listen to your bike, yeah. So I think that's the basis of it all. Listen to your bike. Listen to what it says and tells you, right? Because it's talking to you. It's telling you that, you know, hey, there's something wrong, right? Oh, you know, I can feel the difference between my other tire and this. The tracking, and as I take the corner, is beautiful. You know, I was always a little bit wary on taking corners because I felt, again, you know, the thing was, so these are the kind of things when you talk about intuition, even on a dry day, you can feel that the bike was not tracking as it should be, you know. When you take a corner, you know how to ride a bike. Obviously you got a license and everything else, but you know, so when you take a corner, you know how it should be, and if it's not tracking and you feel it slipping, then to me those are good indications that something is wrong, you know. And again, after 24,000, goodness sake, get it changed, right? So again, that's my 2 cents worth. I think it's something worth talking about. Mercedes, this Mercedes is up my ass again. I don't understand this guy, you know. A little bit off topic. If you notice on my channel recently, I've done a lot of drone flights and stuff like that. The reason behind that is that again, everything's related to riding in any case, right? And I'm going on a lot of trips, especially in 2019. I plan to go on quite a number of trips, and I believe that there will be really some nice, beautiful places to go to. And you know, besides having an onboard camera and riding and doing this kind of vlog, or at least taking the scenery, it's still not enough. Right? Once you get to the destination, you know, I'm not going to walk around with a helmet, right? And so videos, cameras, drones especially, because I mean there's some interesting, beautiful scenery that you just cannot capture with a smartphone, and it doesn't look that good. And I think also it's about perspective and stuff, so I think the drone adds another additional thing. So that was just me practicing and getting it right, so that when I do finally go on my trips, which I will be going on one this Sunday, I would be going on a little breakfast ride. But you know, what we're going to be doing is they'll definitely be taking some photos and some videos, and my friend Mo and I will be bringing our drones, so hopefully we can get some nice shots. If we can get some nice action shots of us on the bike, it will be even great. So then I can combine both, right? So I can get nice videos, capture great scenery, capture great videos, and so forth. So forgive me if the content wasn't as I want to. I'm still trying to figure it out and trying to analyze again what would be attractive, and again, maybe next year when I have a little bit more time, I'll try and get in touch with Harley Davidson Singapore and see if I can do some test rides as well. Yeah, I know that the 2019 bikes are coming in. They've already brought in the Sportsters, the Iron 1200, no more the AA3, the new 48. I think the 48 now comes with mini apes. So again, different. So looking forward to that, and hopefully I can bring some nice reviews to you guys. So anyway, thank you very much for listening. Hopefully again, the quality of the audio isn't as bad as I think or hope, that I can actually produce this video. Otherwise I have to do it all over again. Don't forget to subscribe and click the notification button so that you know when I'm putting up a new video.